These are the different components what we have in BODS. We have a data services designer, we have a data services local selector, management console, repository manager, server manager, workbench, license manager. These are all the different kind of components we have that comes up with the installation of an SAP BODS. That is what we have discussed, and we have discussed what each and every component will does. So, but at the high level, this is what the tool. So, data services designer is a tool where exactly you are going to use it in order to perform the ETL extraction, transformation, and loading. And we have something called as a management console and data services repository manager and data services server manager, and right, these are the tools we have. So the each and every tool is a one-time activity, but data services designer is a one where we will be using actively during our course. Yeah. So if I launch it, and also we also discussed some points where what are the different steps that administrators will perform if they want to work with the, if any particular trainer, or if any particular trainee has joined the project for a BODS, what are the steps that trainee or administrator has to do to start the project. So that kind of a steps that we have discussed. And in a previous session, we also discussed, we have one ETL mapping here. This is what called as an extraction, and this is what called as a loading, and in between we have something like a transformation. This is what we have. So we have an order details and we have an orders. These are the two tables coming from the source system, and we have to join and we have to validate and we have to load it into the target system. So that is a one sample job of what we already have. I just shown you. Okay, it's not built in the last session. It's already built for other batches. I just want to show you how the end result would be. So after completing these classes, you will be in a comfortable zone where you will perform an extraction, transformation, and loading. Yeah. So that is what I would like to inform here. This is what at a high level. So yeah. So now the first point is, this is called the project area, and this is what called as your local object library, where whatever the activities that you are going to perform, those activities will be stored under this local object library as part of as a metadata. And this is a front end. This is the front end of your activities, or you can say that this is a workspace. This is a workspace where exactly you are going to perform your mapping, extraction, transformation, and loading part, where exactly you are going to take care of it. Okay. So having said that, so we have different type of transformations we have something like a platform type of transformations. We have something like data quality type of transformations. We have something like data integrated type of transformations. These are the different type of transformations we have. So it depends upon the requirement. We are going to use either case transformation, map transformation, merge transformation, query transformation. Depends upon the requirement. We are going to use all these transformations. Yeah, in fact, my training is driven on the transformations itself. My training is driven on the transformations itself. Yeah, so we will take each and every transformation. There are some transformations where I'm not going to touch, like data mask. So this is not very effectively used. And similarly, we have something like DQM microservices. I'm not going to use because it requires some kind of a services on the what do you call it, data services server, and also yeah, that's it. Yeah, those two are not going to covered. And after that, we have something like data integrated type of transformations, where you're going to perform data transfer, kind of a performance enhancement, date generation transform, effective date, hierarchy flattening, right? These are all the different. So if you observe carefully, we have something called as a slowly changing dimension, right? So we have a concept called as a slowly changing dimension, AG. So we are going to use that slowly changing dimension as part of a data warehouse concept, right? So we are going to see those, and we have something like, how we can extract the data from the XML files, how to do that, how to perform the table comparison between the source table and the target table. So how we can perform that. And similarly, we have something called as a reverse pivot. Yeah. So reverse pivot, how to do that reverse pivot, how to convert how to rotate the rows into columns and columns into rows. Yeah. So, and also we have something like hierarchy flattening, right? We have something like a parent and child relationship. When I say like parent and child relationship, you can think of a bomb, bill of material explosion, right? You might have worked in your career with the explosion of the bomb or cost element group. These are all the different kind of parent and child relationships we have, wherein yeah, wherein you are going to perform the activities, right? We have something like an effective date. We have a date generation. We have, yeah. So these are all the different type of transformations we have. And also, I'm going to walk you through some kind of videos on the data quality, because data quality requires download of some dictionaries basically. So that is not possible with our demo systems. In this data quality, I'm going to show you, because whenever I have worked with my previous company, luckily I could able to record some scenarios. I will try to show you those scenarios as well. So that is how exactly we are going to proceed with transformations of an SAP BODS. So let me give you a few more details here. So this is what called as a all local object library. Local object library is nothing but locally by the developer what he's saving, right? That is what meant by the local object library, right? So all these information like project, job, workflow, data flow, transformations, data stores, file formats, and custom functions. We also can have some kind of a custom functions. These custom functions are also generated or created, right? That is what we have. Yeah. So these are all the different databases that are available on the SQL Server. So we have something called as, okay, so we have something called as Northwind tables. See, these are all the tables that are available actually. I mean, somebody has created some tables in this. Ignore that. But if you see, like we have a supplier, we have a shipper. Yeah, we have a suppliers. We have a region. Yeah, we have a products. We have an orders. Yeah, so we have a shippers. Yeah, these are all the different tables that are available in this particular database of this host name, SAP BODS 1/SAP. Yeah. So if you go to the data store, it's kind of a connection string, or you can say that connector. If you go here, what exactly the details I'm giving here? The username of the database server name. I mean, sorry, the server name here. This is what I have given here, and the database where exactly my tables are residing. This is where exactly my tables are residing on the Northwind, and the username and password. Okay, so let us take an example. We have some tables in SQL Server. Yeah, that is what my source. And those tables, yeah. So we have a tables in SQL Server. What is the MySQL Server? MySQL Server host name is SAP BODS 1/SAP. SAP BODS 1/SAP. Yeah, this is what my source basically. And what customer looking for is extract the data from these tables. from tables in Northwind database. In order to do that, what I have to create, steps need to be performed. Yeah, what are the steps I need to perform? So need to extract the data from SQL Server. In order to extract the data, so create the data store in BODS. So what is a data store? Data store is a kind of a connector name that we are going to define, something like this. So SQL connection. Yeah. And we are going to connect to which system? Microsoft on-premise SQL Server 14. Correct? So since my source is a database, so if let us say your source is not a database, your source is like a JD application, right? You're going to use that. Let us say your source is Oracle Apps. You're going to use a respective data store type. Let us say if your source is a PeopleSoft or SAP application, or else it's a Siebel Analytics, yeah, or else any API, or else if it is any SOAP related API, yeah, or RESTful API, yeah. So these are the different types of data stores we have. But what is the data store that we need to create for our requirement? Because my tables are coming from the database. I need to create a database type of data store. Any questions or confusion on this? So this is a database. See how many options we have. We have a different options we have. Like Amazon Redshift, Eternity Connector, Data Federator we have. We have Hadoop Hive we have. We have a Neo View we have. HP Vertica, Infomix, Memory, Microsoft we have. See, Microsoft we have. SQL Server we have. Netazza we have. ODBC we have. Oracle, Persistent Cache, PostgreSQL, SAP HANA we have. Yeah, SAP Aura we have. Okay, SAP Aura we have. Snowflake. Yeah, so we have something like a Snowflake. Um, Snowflake is nothing but it's kind of a modern database where you normally with cloud systems they use this Snowflake. We have something like a SQL Anywhere we have. Yeah. So we have a Sybase IQ. These are all the different databases where the BODS can talk to, BODS can extract the data from, and BODS can load the data as per the requirement. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying here? These are all the different options we have. Yeah, but specifically from Microsoft, we have these options. In Microsoft also, we have APS. Yeah, and we have an Azure data warehouse. We have an Azure platform as service, PaaS. We have an Azure VM. We have a SQL Server on-premise. Whatever the SQL Server that we are using now, that is on-premise. On-premise in the sense it is not maintained on the cloud. They have installed in one physical box, right? So they are proceeding with that. Yeah, this is SQL Server on-premise. So database server name we have, database name we have, username and the password. These are all the different types of data stores what we can create as per the requirement. So now we will try to frame one example where we are going to proceed with that. So let us take an example. So we have a source system here, and in this source system we have something called as a yeah, so this is what orders tables we have. So select star from, yeah, this is a source tables we have. So select star from orders. So orders table, we have some data. with order ID, product ID, unit price, quantity, discount. Similarly, we have something called as a select star from orders. Yeah, something like this. So we have something like an order ID, customer ID, employee ID, something like that. See, the requirement here is we need to join these two tables and we need to perform some lookup and we need to push it into the target system. The target system can be same SQL Server. The target system can be a file. The target system can be separate SQL Server. Okay. So this is what, so select star from orders, select star from order details. So we will try to identify the steps. What are the steps? We need to extract the data from the SQL Server and from the orders and from the order. Yeah. So create the data store in the SAP BODS. And the third point is import the metadata. So when I say import the metadata, it's kind of we are going to import the table definitions. So table definitions. Yeah. So we are going to, I mean the tables, columns, and yeah, column types. These are all the definition of the tables, correct? So all we are going to import into the BODS. Next, so perform the join as per the requirement. That's it. So this is what you're going to do. Yeah. And after that, so we have extracted, but we have to load it into a target system. Yeah. So what is that? So you're going to load it into target system. So in order to load into the target system again, we need to connect from BODS to target system. So again, create a data store with different kinds of data store types. If your target is a file, we will create a file format. If your target is if your target is data store, if your target is the SQL Server, you're going to create a SQL Server type of a data store. If your target is something else, you're going to create another kind of a data store. So create the data store as per the requirement, like how you have created for the source. So you're going to create the data store for the target also, right? So after that, execute the job. So these are the different kinds of steps that you are going to perform whenever you are talking about the extraction, transformation, and loading. So now what exactly we are going to create? So let us say I'm going to create a new project. So I will say like project demo, probably, yeah, 7 a.m. IST, something like that. Yeah, this is a project. So you're going to create a new project now. So when you right click and proceed with the creation of a job, so we have two options actually, whether you want to create a batch job or whether you want to create a real-time job. So now I'm proceeding with creation of a batch job. So workflow underscore query transform. And within this, we have something like a data flow, df underscore query transform. Yeah, job, workflow, data flow. Yeah. And this is what the connection that we have created, I think. No, this is not the connection. Where is that? Okay, we will create a new connection now. So SQL, we have a database and Microsoft on-premise 2014. Yeah, this is what we have. SAP BODS 1 slash SAP BODS 1 slash SAP. Right? What is the database name? Database name is Northwind This is a username and password provided by the user. You don't have to worry. Okay, so these are all the different things. We have created the project, we have created the job, and we have created the workflow, and we have created the data flow as well. Workflow and the data flow. Yeah, so now, so we need to double click on the data store. Yeah, we did a double click on the data store. These are all the different tables we have. Ignore these tables. I think these are all some kind of a metadata tables. Some other user has created because this is a demo system. So these are all the tables we require. Order details table, and we have something like an order table. Right click and import the metadata. That's it. Yeah. So we just imported the metadata. That's it. Metadata in the sense all the table structures. So if you see open, see this is a structure of the table. Order ID, product ID, unit price, quantity, discount. These are all the different kinds of data types what we can have. Order ID, product ID, unit price, quantity, discount. Yeah, so that is what we have. And similarly, we have like an orders. Yeah, so if you want to view the data, so just right click and view the data. Then it will hit the database and it will bring you the data. And first thing you have to remember is BODS will not store any data. That is a fundamental point that we need to remember. Yeah, so BODS will not store any particular data. Yeah, it's kind of a middleware where it will transfer the data from one source to other. Okay, so order details table and orders table. Yeah, this is what we are going to see. So now in that data flow, what we have here, so we have something like an order details table, and we have order source table. See, whenever I simply drag and drop these tables as my source, it is asking whether you want to make this particular as a source, whether you want to make this particular as a target. Yeah, so that is what we have. So whenever we are talking about these tables as a source, we are going to simply drag and drop these tables, and you're going to proceed with that as a source or target. Okay, so I'm going to make it as a source. So order details as my source, and we have an orders as a source again. So the requirement here is I am going to join these two tables and load into a target first of all, right? Later on we will try to add more scenarios to it. So you're going to connect these two. Yeah, simply this is called a mapping. That's it. Order details and orders. You are going to map it to the query. That's it. Yeah, order details and orders. You're going to map it. Yeah. So we have a query. So order ID and product ID I want to have. So I'm just simply dragging and dropping what are the fields that I require from the respective tables. That's it. So unit price I require, quantity I require, discount I require. Yeah. So similarly, I need a customer ID. I need an employee ID. I need order date, required date, ship date. Yeah. If you want to have all, just select all and press Control Shift on your keyboard and just select and drag and drop. That's it. Yeah. So my intention is join these two. Why I have to join? One table is having only the order details table, and other table is having a kind of a master data, right? So we have an order data and the respective city where it has to be, what is the ship date, what is the shipped order. So that kind of information is there. About what is a join, what is a primary key and foreign key, what is a referral join, that we haven't defined yet. Okay, so we just did a mapping now, but we know that we need to join these two. In order to join these two, we need to have a column to join. So double click here and go to the from clause, right? So in the from clause, you will have a left order details table, and right we have an orders table. And here we have a 3 dots. If you, in this particular dot, you are going to define what is your join condition. Yeah, what are the fields that we need to bring it from order details table? What are the fields that we need to bring it from orders table? And you are going to join with the query transform. If you observe carefully, you guys are familiar with an SQL language anyway. See, in an SQL also we have something like a select statement, select a distinct rows, right? We have a from clause, we have a where clause, we have a group by, we have an order by, and we have an advanced in the sense this option is very much useful whenever you are uh, 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 trying to add more resources, trying to add to improve the performance. Yeah. So let us take an example. We are using 8 CPU system, and we have for each and every CPU we have certain type of threads are available on your physical machine I'm talking about. Yeah. So if that is the case, uh, if you want to improve the performance, normally what happens is if you're processing 1,000 records or maybe 2,000 records, right? So it will be run in a sequential manner. I mean to say, like, if you want to perform any distinct, it will perform first a distinct. If you want to perform a group by of any particular to kind of an aggregation like sum or average, minimum or maximum, it will perform in a sequential manner. Of course, even though the performance is good, even though that group by or join, it will take care in the form in microseconds, but still overall, if you want to increase the performance, you can use the checkbox here. Let us take an example. If you are trying to do some group by, so you check this checkbox so that one more thread will gets added to this particular job. Yeah, job is nothing but a one service, right? As I mentioned previously, we are going to assign one service. We are going to assign one service to the job. So, right? So if you are going to check this checkbox, group by, join, or distinct, one more thread will get assigned to the same job so that it will run in a parallel. So if you want to do a distinct, yeah, one thread will process with the distinct. Another thread will work on the group by. Another thread will work on the join. Yeah, something like that. So you are knowingly or unknowingly by check this checkbox, you are making the job, you are making the process in parallel rather than in the sequential manner to improve the performance. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So these options are useful whenever there is a need to improve your performance, something like this. And now the requirement here is I have extracted the data and I have joined. Now I have to load it into a target system. My target system is a SQL server now. Let us take an example. My target system is a SQL server. In a SQL server also, this is what my database. Yeah. So source tables are in the Northwind, and target tables are on the target database. Yeah. So that is what we have. So what I have to do now, I have created the data store already. So this is what my target data store. Yeah. So what it hold, actually the same information, everything is same. Yeah. So target, only difference is the target data base basically here. So you're going to take the data and you're going to perform the join between the tables, and you are going to load the data into a target, something like this. Yeah. And now we have a concept, the two ways of doing this now. See, since we have a table in a source system, you are extracted. But in order to load the data into a target system, there should be some mechanism, right? What is that mechanism? Basically, that mechanism would be to load the data into a target system. To load the data into the target system, somebody has to create the table in the database. Do you guys agree with me? So that we will be able to load the data. So normally that is a process, right? I mean, in general, right? If somebody wanted you to load the data into one XYZ table, obviously you will ask, hey, go ahead and create the XYZ table so that I can load it. That is a one way of doing it in a standard way, right? But other way of doing it is that someone can be you. Yeah, I mean to say, like, you are going to create the table at runtime from the BODS. Yeah, so that concept is called as a, see here we have something like a template table. See, whatever the structure you have in this query transform, right? You are going to create the table with the structure that is available in the query transform in your target underscore connection data store. Yeah, what target underscore connection data store is holding? Target underscore connection data store is holding a information of target database, correct? Yes or no? If you, okay, maybe I will tell you once again. So target underscore connection data store, it is pointed to which database? It is pointed to target database, correct? So whenever I'm going to create a template table here under target underscore connection, so what it gets created? So it gets created, whatever the template table that I'm trying to create, that template table is getting created under the target underscore connection data store. Yeah, this is a definition I'm creating now. Yeah, order line item. This is a mapping actually I created just now. Till now, whatever I did now, this is as part of a mapping. Whatever I have created now, this is as part of a mapping. Yeah, order details, we have an orders, we have a, so we have a kind of a query transform, and we have a order line item. That is what we have. So this is what we have. So now I have just created the mapping. So in order to transfer the data from source to target, definitely we need to execute. Right click and execute. It will ask you to save it. Yeah, save it and execute. So these are all the different options we have. Basically, we have a print all trace messages. We have a disable or enable, yeah, enable recovery. These are all the different topics that we have for further sessions. Collected statistics. Yeah, so these are all, if you are very keen about the statistics of how it is loaded, what loaded. If you are interested in that information, you can always go ahead and select. But in this right now, please concentrate only on the, we are trying to execute the job. That job requires the job server that is running on the port number 3500. And I'm going to execute now like this. Yeah. So now first the job got created, or I mean initiated. After that, workflow has started. After that, our data flow has started. Data flow is a important object. Yeah, this is what the hierarchy. Data flow is an important object where it will actually hold your ETL logic. Yeah, so we have a three buttons here, three tabs here: designer, monitor, and log. We have a designer, and we have a monitor, and we have a log. So you can see the data here. So remember, when I click on this magnifying glass, it is connecting to the database, then it will bring the data. Please remember, BODS will not store any data. That is a wrong conception with the students, yeah, or with the participants. So I just want to clear. And if you just click on this, you will get a number of records in this. Yeah. And also if you go to the next one, so here we have three tabs here: data tab, profile tab, and column profile tab. Profile tab is in the sense, if you see here, If we select ship via, yeah, see how many values we have, what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value of it. If you take what is the maximum quantity we have, it will tell you one is a maximum, one is a minimum quantity, 130 is a maximum quantity, something like that. And what is the minimum date of ship date? Yeah, you can also verify that. Something like this. This is a minimum date of this is a maximum date. It's all depends upon the requirement. And this is kind of to understand the data profile there. We have a column profile. So normally if you want to understand how many regions we have or how many cities we have. Yeah. So we have these many cities and we also have a lot more. It will show you only the sample, top 10. Maybe if you want to see top 100, yeah, go ahead and see the top 100. Something like that. It will show you even that way also. These are all the distinct values, what we have for that particular value. Yeah, so this is what extraction, transformation, and loading with very simple example of joining two tables and loading into a target table. So now it is an order line item, right? So now, So now if you go to, go here, target database and expand it. We have a tables here and go to the order. Where is that order? Yeah, this is an order line item. See? Yeah, this is what we have. What it is saying. Select star from where is that? Where is that order? Okay. So basically we are looking into the wrong database. We need to look into the target. Yeah. So remove this. Then execute. Yeah. The same 2 and 5 records we have. Yeah. So if you go to the query transformation, in a query transformation, so we can have a different columns here. We can define. We can add few more columns. We can remove columns. We can rename columns. Something like that. So all those things possible there.